So, as some of you may be able to tell by my social media account, I've took a bit of a break from all of it. It doesn't take a genius to work out why. It's of course because of the Harry Maguire tweet, and some of you may also be thinking, and rightly so, why is it taking him so long to respond or at least explain his side of things? And to be honest with you, the reason why it took me so long is because I needed a break from it all. I would have put something out. Initially, but the messages I was receiving across all social media, the racial slurs, my family being brought into things, which I'll explain a little bit more, and I feel like it does need to be sort of shed a light on in terms of that. But before we get into all of that stuff, I do want to explain, obviously, the situation and what actually happened behind the tweet and why I deleted it and so on. So on Sunday evening, I received a message from a source that's proved well for me in the past. It was actually the same source most recently that gave me the information that Diego Simeone wanted João Felix out of the club immediately, and then within 2 days he was effectively signed for Chelsea. So it was a source that's proved well for me in the past. So I decided to go for it. That's the game of the transfers. I'm told a lot of stuff. I'm fortunate enough to be told a lot of stuff in terms of transfers from various sources. And ultimately, it's your decision as the person receiving that information whether to go for it or not. And in this instance, I did go for it. There's been instances in the past where I haven't gone for things and they have come true. And as this situation explains, I've gone for things that haven't come true. And in terms of the stuff that hasn't come about and gone the way I've reported to do so, I've never deleted any of the tweets. If you go through my social media account, particularly on Twitter, when I've reported on certain players or clubs or situations, if they haven't come right, I don't delete them. I don't shy away. I'll always hold my hands up and sort of own it, really. It's a situation really where in terms of transfers, you get, as I say, you get told things, you either go for it, you don't, and if you do go for it, you hold your hands up and you stand your ground, really. And that's really why I wanted to do a video, obviously about the messages and stuff that I've been receiving, but more so really, certainly in this part of the video anyway, I just wanted to explain, I wouldn't delete them in any other normal circumstances, irrespective of the outcome, and you'll be able to tell that through my social media account. But the reason why I deleted this particular tweet was because someone related to the tweet, who I'm obviously not going to name specifically, reached out and requested for me to delete the tweet. And now this is the first time. I'm only 23 years old. I'm very young, and I've still got a lot to learn, especially compared to all the other individuals in my field who are so successful. This was, as I say, the first time I was directly contacted upon request to take it down, and I took the decision in my own hands to do so. As I say, I'm not one to shy away. I'll hold my hands up and I'll always own whatever happens. And this was another reason why I wanted to do the video. In these situations, people write paragraphs in their notes, for instance, and screenshot it and tweet it like almost a bit of a statement, or in some circumstances, people hide behind the companies that they work for. So in my instance, it's TalkSport. I'm not one to shy away, hide behind a company of that size and let them take the brunt of things. I'll hold the responsibility, and that explains why I took them out of my bio, because I wanted to emphasise the fact that these were my sources and not that of TalkSport's. If they are of TalkSport's, then TalkSport on their own Twitter account or on talksport.com will endorse the tweets or report them themselves. And equally, Alex Crook, who's absolutely brilliant, their main transfer correspondent, he'll also endorse the tweets as he has done in the past. And on the same note, if it's not his sources or TalkSport sources, then he won't. So yeah, that probably explains that part in terms of the bio and stuff like that. But yeah, the reason, and I've mentioned it a little bit at the start, the reason why it took me a few days anyway to respond and get this video out was because of the messages, as I say, I was receiving across all social platforms, really. Racial taunts, slurs in my direction, my family being brought into things. And look, at the end of the day, the reason why I report on these transfers and make podcasts and have a job within the sports industry is because I love football. It's been part of my life throughout, really, since I can remember, and I can completely understand how much football means to people, how much sport means to people. But this should never ever be an excuse or a reason in why someone should be on the receiving end of some of the messages I've received. It's, as I say, it's important to a lot of people, but it's definitely not more important than racism, people's personal lives being brought into things. I just never will ever find that acceptable in any walk of life or any circumstances. So, like I said, I'll hold my hands up. I'll admit when I get things wrong. I'll own it. I'm never going to be afraid of getting things wrong. That's part and parcel of not only the industry that I work in, but life in general. You've got to be able to have the capability of taking risks and owning them if they don't come right, and being happy when they do do come right. It's, as I say, the nature of the beast that we're in. So yeah, I hope it sort of explains a little bit in terms of my situation and how things unfolded and the reality behind that stuff. As I said, I'll hold my hands up. I'll always take responsibility irrespective of what it is, and I'll take that on my own shoulders. That's again why I wanted to do a video. I don't want to hide behind a tweet or anything like that. I want to directly address it and explain my side of things. So yeah, I mean, I just want to say thank you as well to the small minority of people that did reach out to me and just check up on me. It does go a long way, certainly in them situations, especially when them messages were surrounded by some really difficult messages to read and deal with. So yeah, and also to every one of you who've reached this part of the video, you've been at least open and willing to hear my side of things, which all I can really say is thank you. This video wasn't to try and convince you that I'm in the right or any of that kind of thing. It was just to explain my side of the story, and as I say, I want to say thank you for at least hearing my side of things. So yeah, thank you very much once again, and yeah, that's pretty much it.